Hey, what's up guys? I'm Mr. Chris with Infotainment.com. Today I'm in a 22 through 24 Ford Expedition. As you can see in my hands here, I have the partial digital cluster with the analog gauges. We just finished installing this full digital cluster. If you are interested in this upgrade and you want to see how it's done, stick around. I'm going to show you how to install it. Alright, so before we start, this installation is pretty involved and it does require a few different tools. So I have a really short stubby 7mm, a medium-sized 7mm, and a long 7mm. If you have these with magnets on them, that'll definitely come in handy. A T20 Torx, T25 Torx, 8mm, 10mm, some panel tools, a right angle. This is a tiny little baby Torx, but I'm actually going to use it to help me pull one of the panels. I'll show you when I get started. And it's going to require the removal of a bunch of 7mm, 8mm, and 10mm. So I got a little magnetic tray here just so I keep them all kind of organized. All right, so where we're going to start is at our A-pillars. We actually have to remove both the driver and the passenger A-pillar, and we do this so we can get some other panels pulled out. But this center strip right here is concealing two 10mm bolts. In order to pull this center strip out, they actually gave you a tiny little hole at the bottom here, and that's what I'm going to use my little baby Torx driver for. It fits right in that hole. You're going to kind of pull towards you, and that'll pop that free. If you start prying at this edge here, you're going to start to mar up the plastic, so I try to avoid that. And you can see our two 10mm screws now. Pull those out. All right, now we can just pull that pillar straight towards you. Then once you pop it out, you pull upwards on the bottom and unplug your tweeter. And we got this whole panel out, so we can set it aside. This is going to have quite a bit of parts during the removal, so maybe setting up a little table will help you out, just so you keep everything organized and not in a big pile on the floor. And we'll do the same thing on the passenger side. All right, now we can free up this forward dash cowl up here. Basically, it's just held in with clips. And what I like to do is start at one side or the other, lift up that edge so you can get it started. The clips are actually angled in there. They're not straight up and down. So if you try to pull straight up, it's gonna fight you. So what you wanna do is pull kind of towards you, and that'll get this thing freed up pretty easy. Just like that, and we can take this whole piece out and we'll set this aside. All right, now we're ready to remove our 7mm screws at the front of the dash here. There's gonna be 3 per side, but 4 are closer to the passenger side. So we're gonna pull those out. And what you can do when you're in the vehicle, you can kind of use the reflection in the windshield just to see where the screws are. So it's going to be all the screws with this mount right here attached to that dash cap. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is pretty close to the windshield. So if you are using power tools, be careful. Because if it bites, you can spin around and crack that glass. All right, then we can move to where your A-pillar was actually mounted, right below your tweeter. There's another hidden 7mm screw right there. Go ahead and pull that one out. All right, we do have that same 7mm screw on the passenger side. So when we jump over to that side, we have to remember to pull that hidden screw as well. All right, now while we're in the driver's seat, we can go ahead and pull our steering wheel all the way out and then all the way down, and that'll give us the most clearance to work back here. Now we have a little bit better access to our push start button here. What we have to do is work our panel tool around it. This is just clipped in. There we go. We'll get that popped off and we can unplug that and set that aside. All right, and with that out of the way, that'll give us access to this lower panel. We can pop that free. Just like that. And that's actually hiding 2 7mm screws that are right behind it. So we'll have to pull those, pull those out, we actually don't have to pull this whole panel down. We just need to pull it down far enough to gain access. All right, now with that free, we can go ahead and pull this cluster bezel out a little bit to free that clip. And you can see the whole thing is loose on this side. We'll jump over to the left side and start pulling that side apart so we can get this bezel off. All right, so on the left side of our bezel, we have this top trim right here. This is just held in with some clips. We can go ahead and pry this back and off, and then we can pull this silver trim off also, and that'll give us access to the 1/7 mil that's back here. All right, with that out of the way, we can go ahead and pull this whole shroud back. And what we're left with is the vinyl trim that's attached to the top of your steering column. And this pops off pretty easy also. Let me see if I can get it in the middle here. There we go. Some really light snap clips that secure that. But once you have that off, this whole thing pulls out of the way. All right, now all we have left are the 4 screws holding our bezel on. They're all 7mm, but for most of the dash, you have the same size 7mm screws. For the cluster, you have these longer, shorter profile 7mm. So these 4 are going to be different from the rest of your dash, so don't get those confused. And now we can pull our bezel back and out. And the easy way to unplug it is just flip it right over and depress the clips. All right, we got our cluster out. We'll go ahead and set this aside. All right, so from here, we actually have to remove quite a bit more of the dash. And the reason is we're changing out this top cap. The digital cluster bezel is actually different and the cluster is shaped a little different. So this original cap and original bezel won't fit around it. So we got to keep going until we get this whole top piece removed. So I'm gonna pull this little trim piece here that's on the AC vent or covering that AC vent. It's just some retaining clips. Then you have one 7mm screw here. And then right behind your radio, you have this little rubber mat. It's got some little push snaps in there. Pull that guy out. We're not gonna need that. And then right behind your radio, you also have a trim panel that pops straight up. All right, so all we gotta do is put our panel tool in the side and pop those clips free. And you do have 3 clips in there. We do have to pull the screen also, and that is 3 8mm screws. There's 1 in the center here and 2 on the sides. All right, now all we have to do is pull our screen straight back. It's just held in with some clips. We'll angle this down and get the plugs unplugged here. Be careful with this, set this aside. All right, now with your screen removed, you have access to these 3 7mm right here. Go ahead and get these pulled out. All right, next up, we'll get this silver trim that's going around our climate control. We'll get that trim popped off. All right. And we'll set that aside too. Now we're on the passenger side. I'm gonna remove that screw that I mentioned underneath that A-pillar. And then right down to the side, you have the side panel that needs to be removed. And this is just held in with a bunch of clips. This pulled out of the way, and we pulled that to expose these 2 7mm. We'll get those removed as well. All right, now we can pop off the upper and lower trim on the passenger side. This is just held in with some retaining clips. So you pull it straight towards you, that'll clip that free. Then you have that silver one right below it. Pull straight towards you, and that one pops free too. All right, now we need to remove both passenger side AC vents. So for the furthest to the right AC vent, you have a single 7mm screw, and then it's just held in with some clips, and it can be kind of tight. So just pull straight back, you're not gonna break it. It's pretty robust. We'll come over to our center passenger side AC vent. You have 2 7 mils up top and 1 on the bottom. We'll get all 3 of those pulled. All right, so to pull this center vent, it is actually hooked behind your lower bezel here, but you don't have to remove it. You can actually pull just a little bit, and this kind of flexes up and out of the way. Just like that. This lip is actually mounted below, so you just want to be aware of that so you don't break that off. And now we can pull the glove box out, the upper glove box. There's 3 T25 torque screws holding this on, so let's go ahead and pull that out. All right, now this whole thing will pull straight out. We'll set that aside. All right, and then next up, you got all these little goldish clips here. These are T20 torque screws. We actually have to pull all 5 of these. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. All right, and then right down here, this is your airbag, your passenger side airbag. Right down here, you have 2 8mm bolts holding this on. We're not actually gonna pull the whole airbag out. We just need the bolts out of the way so we can lift it up. All right, now that we have everything removed from our dash cap, we can basically pop this up. The only reason we're doing this is there's one hidden screw on this dash piece that we need to get to pop the driver's side dash cap off, because we are going to be swapping this side out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start right around here with my panel tool. If clips fall off, you can snap them back on once we get this piece off. You're basically going to just push up on it. There you go. Until you release all the clips. There we go. And right here, you can see that single 7mm screw that we needed to get to. We did all of that just for that screw. So, and we'll pull this one 7mm out. All right, now we can go ahead and pull the driver's side dash cap off, and we'll replace it with our new one. We can reinstall everything and get our new digital cluster installed. All right, and the same thing on the driver's side. We'll just start pulling up on it until we pop all the clips off. And then you do have your sun sensor way up front here, and we do have to swap that over. So from the underside, you can go ahead and press the clips in and push it outwards. Just squeezing that and push out. We'll get this transferred over to our new dash cap. All right, so I got my new dash piece here. The sun sensor, I'm gonna reinstall real quick. This does only go in one way. One side has a bigger notch than the other, so just make sure you get that lined up correctly. It looks like the clip is going to be on the left side. Snap that in, and you'll probably notice that this has a speaker grill, and it comes with a speaker grill, but no speaker. So for you audio guys that are interested, you can add a center channel if you're into that kind of thing. If not, you can just not worry about this and snap that speaker grill over that piece when you're all done. But we'll get this reinstalled, plug in our sensor, lift up, set this guy in place here. All right, we're all snapped in. Let's get that single 7mm screw reinstalled up here, and then we'll just reverse the removal and reinstall everything. All right, now from here, we're just gonna go ahead and put all the pieces that we removed in that reverse order back together, making our way back over to the driver's side so we can get that new digital dash in. All right, now we're ready for our digital cluster. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep that film on while I'm plugging this in, and then I'll pull it off before I put the bezel over it. There we go. You can see it's already lit up. And again, these are pre-programmed for plug and play install. So you don't have to worry about anything. Once you just plug it in, it'll be ready to go for your vehicle. You're gonna install those 4 longer 7mm screws that I mentioned earlier. All right, now we can go ahead and peel our screen protector off. And we can grab our replacement bezel and get that snapped into place. And when you're doing the steering column portion, it's easier if you snap it in from the top down first, then you kind of snap it in on the sides, like kind of pushing it towards the center. The installation from here going forward is exactly like we pulled it off. We're just using the new pieces here. All right, and then the 2 last pieces that we have to reinstall are our A-pillars. We'll do both driver and passenger side and we'll be done. All right, we got the install all wrapped up. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see what it looks like. As you can see, it's a night and day difference from our original cluster. Full digital, fully matches with our big display infotainment system here. And check out some of the options they give you in here. All right, so that pretty much wraps up our install. If you are interested in picking up this digital cluster, you are gonna wanna keep in mind that it is kind of involved and you wanna give yourself probably 3 hours, 4 hours, just to be kind of lenient with your time frame. So if you're not super mechanically inclined, give yourself a little bit more time and you should get this installed no problem. Also, I do want to mention that this is pre-programmed, so you are going to have to fill out a cluster form on our website when you order this, so they can get the right information that they need to get this programmed with your correct mileage and vehicle configuration. So that pretty much wraps up this install. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, be sure to check out the rest of our videos on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of content on there, other build videos, and be sure to check out our website, Infotainment.com, for more products and upgrades just like this.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that upgrade just as much as we enjoyed developing it. We were here established in 2008, and we've been helping over 100,000 customers do upgrades to their vehicle. So we carry this upgrade and so much more on our website, Infotainment.com. We service what we sell. We have a whole staff that services parts all day long. We also have in-house advisors that can advise you and help you from start to finish. We also have a compatibility guarantee. As I mentioned in the video, we will get your 17-digit VIN number to ensure that everything is programmed to the modules for a seamless installation in your exact vehicle. We also have extended warranties for those of you who would like to take advantage of that. Those of you who pulled out your old gear and you don't want it just to sit in your garage forever, we actually offer trade-in value to your old gear. So be sure to go to our website for more information on that. Last but not least, if you have a request for your vehicle, you want a factory OEM upgrade for your vehicle and you don't see it on our website, we have a product request form that our research and development department looks at every single day. So request that product and we'll get back with you with a possible solution. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and have a great day.